Hello everyone, welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for this edition of YBMcast, powered by Game 7 Baseball, Game7Baseball.com. Guess what? Preview show coming up with our Game 7 Bros. Tournament schedule will be released here shortly. I know there's been a couple teasers up on some social media, but we're going to have hopefully both Dave and Dave in the studio, or maybe a location of our choosing. We'll just have to see. But we will have a preview show coming up. We'll be talking about our Super 7 series. We'll be talking about some new events, some new locations. So make sure you're staying tuned and go check out Game7Baseball.com. Keep an eye out for the tournaments going to be posted here. Not too distant future. We'll be talking to you guys shortly. Make sure if you like what we're doing, subscribe, like, share, follow us on X at YBM_cast, IG and Facebook at Youth Baseball Midwest. We do appreciate everybody who is supporting Youth Baseball Midwest. Today on Baseball Talk on the show, we have back head coach, Southern Boone High School, Brian Ash, joining us on the Prime Sports Call Link. Coach, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well. Thanks for having me again.
I love this stuff. It's getting more and more information, talking about these things. I think this is what we wanted the show to be about, especially with Baseball Talk, getting to know what's going on around in other parts of the state and baseball and lower classes especially. So, but I got to take care of some business for our folks at Prime Sports. Bat demo. Do you like bat demos, Coach?
My son does. I don't know if I necessarily do. I don't care what bat they hit with as long as they can hit. So, but my son does, yes. He does like to demo a wide variety of bats every year.
Well, if you get a chance, come on over November 15th. We got one at Prime Sports over in Fenton. All the big ones will be there. You can see it. Warstick, Tucci, Marucci, Louisville Slugger, D. Marini, Rawlings. What is that? Soldier bat. Yep, Soldier. We got them all. We'll be there. They will have. We've been there. This will be our third year. We're going over. Hang out with those. The bat reps are there. You can ask about the bats. I think they got some 26s too. Correct, Drew? The new editions coming out. So it's a great opportunity to go and check it out if you're in need of a bat. November 15th, 1550 Ocello Drive in Fenton, Missouri. I know it's a bit of a drive. It's a Saturday. You can come hang out, whatnot. Come check out some bats. Bat demo day, Saturday, November 15th, starts at 9 a.m. We're going to be talking about this for a little while. They got some cool stuff. Uniform giveaway, just dropping a little. Not yet, though. But before I start, though, Coach, I got our trivia question of the day. I'm gonna hit you with this. What school, and it doesn't matter, it's all classes, what school holds the record for most Final Four appearances in the state of Missouri?
Well, I do know one. It's a local school around here in mid-Missouri. It's a no-brainer. New Bloomfield is definitely one of those. The late, great Rod Haley. And obviously Justin Forsythe there now. Them, and I would say my second guess would be Francis Howell has a lot. They've got to be there. Valley Catholic and St. Elizabeth, maybe. Those are the four that pop in my head.
Those are good guesses too, Coach. Really good guesses. We're gonna pop the answer to this at the end, but it's not the number one.
Oh,
but
wow.
You were close. Good, really good answers, folks. I'm telling you. So stay tuned to the end. You can hear the answer. Put your, down in the quote down or in the comments below. Tell us what you think, Coach. We've got some Class 4 conferences, and I think that we're going to talk about today. But the difficulty I find, and I think it is a tough situation because logistics and all the things. It's very difficult to create a conference with all the same classes in it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Or the
Especially
same?
in our area. Right. Yeah. Same class, all in the same
Yeah.
conference. We're pretty close. The Tri-County is. Most of our schools are Class 4. But year to year, depending on enrollment drops, those new enrollment numbers come out, and a team may drop to Class 3, or we've not had a class ever go up, but we've had a class here and there that dropped down, and they kind of fluctuate year to year. But I know the Show Me Conference, there's a little bit more discrepancy when it was like Eugene and Fatima. Fatima, I think, was the largest school forever. And then so they were like Class 3, Class 4, and then you had St. Elizabeth, who was Class 1. So some of those really smaller schools in our area, like, it's very difficult to get the same class all in one conference. And we're adding Fulton to the Tri-County, so that's another Class 4. So we're going to be everybody's going to be Class 4. We'll see how this spring shakes out, if there's any teams that drop. I know there's potentially maybe one or two. But yeah, for the most part, we're all Class 4. But it is difficult in our area specifically.
As I've been looking across the state and looking at these things, that was something I hadn't thought about that much. You just, it's not something that readily comes in, but trying to find, if you're playing in a conference, schools, and then, we'll start with the Tri-County there with what you guys deal with. And not to mention then, last year, and this is last year, we haven't got district stuff yet. A lot of times they're the same, but sometimes things change here and there depending. But like Blair Oaks is in District 9, Boonville's in District 7, California Eldon in 9, Osage is in 9, Hallsville's in 7, and Fulton and you guys, Southern Boone, are in District 8. So you get this, you could have 3 teams heading into sectionals winning their district out of this one conference. And that happens quite a bit, doesn't it?
It does. Typically, though, in the past several years, I know, like, it seemed like a lot of those schools, I mean, at one point it was us, Boonville, Fatima, Blair Oaks, Fulton, Father Tolton. I mean, so you start looking at it when your whole entire district is basically state ranked teams, like, if you do win your district, you got a very legitimate shot to possibly get to the Final Four. So, people like to complain. I've been in that boat before too. It's like, dang it, like, we're in such a tough district. But, if you do win it, it's almost like you've already punched your ticket to the Final Four. Not to say that it's a guarantee, but there's so many good teams that you feel like you really did accomplish something when you do win a district title. So, like our district, I mean, it's, and look, I took some notes down, Brian, so I can kind of stay on track here. But, last year, our conference, and I'm going to conclude Fulton in it, even though they weren't in our conference, but
are they
moving forward? Go ahead.
Is Fulton going to be there this year, or is it next year? Because I saw
It'll be the following year.
Okay,
yeah,
so it is 26, 27.
School year. Yeah.
Okay.
But looking at so that's going to have 8 teams in our conference. And last year we had, so out of those teams, 4 state-ranked teams pretty much the entire year, and then 2 other teams were receiving votes. So you're looking at, 2, 4, 6 out of the 8 teams that were getting recognition at the state level. So I don't know if any other conference can really say that. There's obviously really, really good top-end type conferences, but ours from top to bottom pretty much is, I mean, we're really, really good. So and if you win that conference, I mean, it really does mean something.
And I want to make sure folks know you're referencing the Missouri High School Baseball Coaches Association poll. Is that correct?
That is correct. And just to kind of go off that, so there used to be a media poll, like, way back when. I think it just became too much for the coverage. And so the coaches poll kind of took over, just like the all-state poll. And so basically we have regional members who are in charge of those rankings, the ranking committee. And, coaches have to do their due diligence to, like, provide information, like, good. Hey, who are some of the teams that are up and coming? Who are teams to look out for? Like, what are their records? Who have they beat? You put a lot of time and try to make sure that you do recognize those teams that deserve to maybe be in the top 10 or at least maybe getting votes. And so our conference last year, I mean, like I said, it's 6 out of the 8 teams were either getting votes or were pretty much ranked the entire year.
I started doing this because I started doing rankings like that. I took that challenge on, and you're correct. It is a challenge to look at these things, and I try to talk to as many coaches, get as informed opinion, look at schedules, teams that we know consistently year after year. It's not an easy thing if you do it correctly. And I know there's people that do, power rankings here and there in Metro and this,
right.
And that. Cool, fine. But when you're talking about how do you rank a team, I think, you have to set certain criteria in place to say, okay, this is a top 20 team in the state. And it isn't just about the players. It's about the program. I think you have to look at strength of schedule. You have to look at the conference. Where are they playing? How are they playing? There's a lot of factors, I think, that go into this, and we hear this all the time, especially right now with the college football deal going on.
Right.
Always controversy around that because people have different ideas of what that looks like. And that's why I started putting the link to the coaches poll on our website. Hey, this, and I would set my rankings, and then I would go look at the coaches poll when it came out, and I would go, oh, okay, all right. And I was pretty close at times with, some,
right.
We had differences and thoughts. And so I was trying to look at those things and see, what because we had Blair Oaks, Booneville, California. I had Eldon in my rankings at one time. Fulton was definitely there. And you guys. In our Class 4 rankings all year, pretty much. Eldon kind of slipped out. They struggled down towards the end.
Right.
But California, gotta love the Pintos. I mean, that's a great classic mascot name.
Yeah.
You don't see that one very often.
No, you don't. Well, and Brian, to go back to when you're looking at rankings, and realistically, you're pulling hairs when you're trying to figure out who's 1 and who's 10. Like, if you're state ranked, it means that you are playing well. And but like you said, the other part too, like we talk about strength of schedule and your conference, and but the other thing that people need to take in consideration is how many games you playing. We play a 34 to 36 game schedule where some teams may only play a 20 to 25. Well, when you're log jamming 4 to 6 games in a week, well, you're not going to be able to match up your top arms all the time against another team's top arms. And so you're going to take some L's. And a really, really smart baseball coach, I think it was either Justin Tao or Scott McGee, and it made a comment. If you're playing a 36 game schedule and you're a really good team, you're going to have double digit losses. And you're seeing a lot of teams right now that are, they may finish 26-10 or that 27-9 range before districts. And back in the day when you're only playing 20 to maybe 25 games, if you lost double figures, you're looking at it like, that's not a very good season. But now with as many games we're playing, 10 loss teams are going to happen a lot more often.
That's why I thought it was impressive. Last year Staley, I think they lost 4 games. Or something like that in the race. But to your point, I don't think people realize how hard that is. That is hard to do. Losing only 4 games in 36 at any level in baseball, that's tough, man. That is just really tough. And
especially Staley's, there is no gimme games on their schedule. There's teams out there that you're like, there's a couple games there. It doesn't matter who you pitch, you should win. But Staley and, the bigger schools, the bigger classes, especially in Kansas City, St. Louis, Springfield areas, it's just so difficult to win that many games because you would think that you're going to have a hiccup. But it just shows you, though, too, that Staley was awful deep on the mound, and when their number 5 pitcher is probably as good, like their number 5 pitcher is probably better than my number 1,
Right.
and so that's the distinction from Class 6 to even just Class 4. And I mean, that's a true testament, though, to the kids that they have. And, we're talking about Staley. That's just one example, but you can go across the state and a lot of the larger schools that they have those type of pitching staffs.
And here's another point to this: when you're talking about these types, these size of schools, you've been on all sides of it. And I just want to reiterate, folks, if you don't know, Coach Ash is the only coach to win a state championship at 3 different classes. He's won it at the big one. You have a Jeff City, you have a Blair Oaks championship, and a Southern Boone. So you've been in all these situations, and I think it's interesting when you see a school, a Class 4, even a Class 4 playing 20 games. That says to me they do not have the depth to play 27 to 30 games. Am I correct?
No, you're right. And, and I think it's every coach's prerogative to figure out what's best for their team. If a team decides to play 20 games, that, they obviously understand their team and their pitching depth a lot better than anybody else. But to the flip side of it, though, too, like I think it puts so much emphasis in developing pitchers when they're young. Now, whether that's, if you have a youth program and you're developing that stuff at a younger age to where every kid on the 12U team is pitching, because you never know, like when they get to high school, like they may have to throw innings and log innings. And I've always had that mindset, like when you're a freshman, like we literally will try to throw as many of those kids as possible. And that going into a game, like this kid may struggle, but we put a big emphasis on just throwing strikes and commanding the zone. And if you can get 2 pitches over the plate as a freshman, that's pretty good. And then things will kind of balance itself out. But last year I think I threw, I want to say off the top of my head, like 13 pitchers through in varsity games. Now there were some kids that I didn't think would throw varsity innings for us at the beginning of the year, but when you get down to nitty gritty and you just need a kid to come in and be a bridge guy and just throw an inning or maybe 2, just go throw strikes, let our defense do their thing. And we're not asking you to strike everybody out and be perfect, but just don't beat yourself by walking guys and give them free bases. So it's critical, but like I enjoy that part. But and the other thing, Brian, not only are you playing, like we play a pretty much full schedule at the varsity level, you got to incorporate JV games, and then we also have C team games, and our C team plays roughly 26 games.
Oh wow!
So
wow.
So you're trying to balance your freshman pitchers or who's pitching in those games, the JV and the varsity. So like you're potentially going to have, let's say I have 36 on my roster, you're probably going to have roughly 20 plus pitchers pitching throughout the course of the season. That's a lot.
That's a ton. And I think that these are the challenges that coaches at the Class 4 and below really have to deal with, and the development of the program. I got a chance, and it was a great conversation. Really enjoyed it. If you get a chance to go, it was from last week. Popped up on the radar. Shout out to Brian Harmon, Missouri High School Baseball Coach Association. Sent me a list of coaches, coaching changes, new hires, guys moving. Mm-hmm. And so I've been going through that talking, and Alex Weatherman was a coach that left the Lebanon program, went to Forsyth. And so we got a chance to talk to him, and he was, he won a state championship at Marionville. His alma mater, goes to Lebanon, has good success, but back at Forsyth, it was what they wanted. But it takes a different approach. And what I'm hearing from a lot of these small town coaches like this is that development of those youth ages is truly got to be your asset.
It does. Yeah, it really is. And I'll be honest, like, since I've been at Southern Boone, obviously my son came through the program at the youth level. And, I didn't develop like just a straight youth feeder team. But what we do try to do is teams that like our local teams who are playing travel ball, we let them use our facility as long as there's half of the kids that are going to Southern Boone. The problem is the guys that are still doing it, like, I know Rockbridge still has their Southside baseball. I think Scott McGee down at Willard still does things. And I'm sure there's others that I'm forgetting. But we started a deal back in 2005, our high school summer teams or league. And so what we were doing, though, is we were creating these feeder teams that were going right into the high school. So when I was at Jeff City, we had like almost 2 teams from 8U all the way up to 14U. So, but managing that, and then what is very difficult, and then the other part of it is, as things got really competitive, your really, really good players may not be on a great team. And then sometimes that's selfishness with parents and the players. They want to play on a really, really good team. So they may jump ship. Well, then now all of a sudden, like you're trying to piecemeal a youth team and go try to play these tournaments. Well, it becomes very difficult. So I think it's kind of fading a little bit because there's so many opportunities for kids to go play. And, it's no different here in Central Missouri. They're going to find a way. Like my son, he plays on a team out of Arkansas, and they go do a national circuit. So like, for me, I just felt like that was what was best for him. We have kids on our team that play a little bit more local, and for them, that's what's best for them, but they're all playing. And that's, as a coach, I appreciate that because the parents understand that they need to do something to kind of stay sharp. And then, they do trust me once I get my hands on them, like whether it's in the summer, the preseason workouts leading up to the season and the development piece, they do trust me and my staff that we're doing the right things. And it makes it hard, but you want every kid playing the best competition possible, but not every kid is at that level. So there's a balance. You got to find that balance, and only really the parents and financially. I mean, I don't know everybody's financial situation. So the youth stuff has become, it's obviously a big, big deal. And there's so much out there, and every kid though has an opportunity, I think, to play at whatever level they're at.
I agree. I think, it's a great opportunity if you can create some, and you see these coaches doing that. But you're right. I mean, if you've got a player, and you evidently, your son is, that is showcasing at a national level, but as well as I do, Coach, that's one in very few kids. And finding that place, finding that structure that fits you and your growth and your potential and things like that. As a parent of, for a parent of a youth player, that's what you have to do. And find some good advice. You don't have to run all over the country to get good instruction. No. You don't have to run all over the country to get good competition. It is, if you're a 10U player and you're good, find a team that you like that's going to help your son develop, have a good time, enjoy the game, and fits within your financial structure. You don't have to drive, to 5 different states to play baseball. It just does. If you want to do that, more power to you. That's up to you. But you don't have to. And that's the thing. I think you've got to find, I love the advice there, find that structure that fits you, your budget, what you can do, and talk to the high school coach. You're there. Coach, what do you think is best to, get an evaluation, do something, find some opportunity that helps you understand what's best for your athlete. And I think if we did that a little more, I think it would be a lot easier especially for high school coaches.
Right. Yeah, it would. It definitely would. Yep.
So, we're looking at the Tri-County Conference now, not to mention the Tri-County Conference also, especially up in there, that the north, now there's a southeast piece of that's way kind of down towards the Boot Hill. It's kind of interesting how that Tri-County kind of runs up through there. You guys are the central
right.
Tri-County Central, and I think it's the Tri-County Southeast.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's the Tri-County North. And up there, you have Atlanta, who's been very good.
Yep.
I believe that's pronounced Bevier, correct?
Bevier.
Huh? There you go. Sorry, folks. Brashear, Buckland. Yep. Now, and here's one that people don't realize. Green City, over the past, 3 years or something like that, I think they've made 2 Final Four appearances.
Right. Yep. They're a really good that whole conference for that classification is. I mean, you mentioned Atlanta. Yeah. I mean, if you're really a baseball enthusiast like I am, you kind of keep your ear to the grindstone and you know kind of what's going on. And yes, those 2 teams in particular I know are really good. Hey, funny story, or not funny story, but fact, Brashear you just mentioned. Mm-hmm. That's where Tony Perkins got his start. He was a head coach there before he went to Francis Howell. Little trivia for you, Brian.
Some breaking news, folks. There you go.
So, yep. Shout out to Coach Perk.
Absolutely. La Plata, Lynn County, who's been, Macon County and Meadville. There's 2, Lynn County and Meadville are Class 2 schools. Everybody else is Class 1. And like I said, Green City, I remember Drew and I, wasn't last year, it was the year before, because Green City was there, and we had got there the night before. They had just finished. They had lost in the semifinals, They were feeling a little bit. Of course, if you're going to Class 1 in the Final Four, you're going to run into St. Elizabeth or Oran or somebody like that, and it's going to be a tough day.
Yep, you're right. You are right on that.
And so they were feeling, but you Class 1. Here's where I went through and looked this up. Atlanta's got 1 Final Four appearance, second place finish. Bevier has 2 Final Fours, a championship in 1999. Brashear has a Final Four experience, and they finished second in that Final Four. Green City's got 3 Final Fours, but they haven't won a championship yet, and that is La Plata has 4 Final Fours. They've got 1 state championship. It was 2011. So this conference is no joke.
Yeah, I was going to mention La Plata. I know they went on that run there. It seemed like every year they're in the Final Four and playing for a state championship. And that's a very proud baseball school, right kind of up there in that Kirksville area. And there's really good baseball up there. I mean, Kirksville is always good. Macon is always good. Like it's amazing the level of baseball you can find anywhere in the state of Missouri. There's pockets all across the state, whether you're in the north, south, the big cities, it doesn't matter. You're going to find really, really good teams, and no different up north. The teams that you just mentioned, seems like they're always in the mix for, Final Four appearances.
Yeah. So, and that's why I want to give some love to these schools. I mean, we don't hear about it a lot. They don't get a lot of the publicity, but these are really good schools. And the enrollment kind of cracked me up. I think it was 2024 enrollment. You got some numbers here. I think Atlanta was 72.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's trying to fill a baseball team with 72 kids. And I don't know how many of those are young men, but, even if it was half, I mean, you're kind of, especially if you're running 2 teams, a JV and a varsity, you're kind of slim pickings a little bit, but man, but they find a way to do it. They just do. So
it's really kind of a challenge, man. And it's something else when you start seeing those things. The other one I want to talk about, because it was the Class 4 state championship from last year, Chillicothe, is the Midland Empire. Now, we talked a little bit before, and Coach is on the same, these are teams about, but you don't know about. It's one of those things. It's very difficult. But I know Benton is always good. Benton's been, they've been, I think it's Chris Coy or Johnny Coy. That's the head coach
I think
there.
it was Johnny Coy. Chris was, I think,
His
the uncle, or Chris was the nephew
nephew.
of their coach. And hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a younger one coming up that's a freshman this year, and he is really, really good too. And I've seen him play. He always played up growing up, so of course my son's teams would always run into him, and he is really, really talented. So, and they've got a really good sophomore group of kids. The Porter McCarthy and Xander Tiller,
Mm-hmm.
they're not going away. Like they're going to be just fine. They're really good. They're talented. So yeah, St. Joe Benton is, yeah, they're going to be really, really good.
Do you guys ever think about playing that team, or is that a little bit too far for you, Coach?
Well, no, I mean, we were in their tournament or not in their tournament, but we go up and play in that Wow Wood Bat tournament. They were actually in our bracket last year, but we never matched. Like they would lose or we would win, vice versa. So we never ran into them, but we did play Chillicothe in that tournament and beat them. And so, looking back, like the state champs in our class, we actually beat them in a really good game. And but that tournament itself, so you had Savannah, Benton, Chillicothe, let's see who Moberly went up there. We were in it, and then Harrisonville was in it. And there was one more team, another really good team. I can't remember off the top of my head who it was, but anyway, it was MICDS. We played Chillicothe, MICDS, and we played Harrisonville. So those were the three teams that we played in it.
With the exception of Harrisonville, those are all top 20 teams.
Oh, 100, yeah, no doubt. Like at that point in that tournament, I think it was us, MICDS, Moberly, St. Joe Benton, and Chillicothe. They're all state ranked. So like really 7 of the 8 teams in there. And Savannah, I think, was getting votes. Savannah had a really good year. And Coach Bodenhausen does a great job with that program. I mean, every year they're in the mix.
Yeah, because I know that's why I say top 20, because Savannah was right. They were getting, and it's too. Here we go again. I love this. We're creating a top 10 mascot names, and here are two of the better ones. Of course, Savannah, the Savages.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a cool name, yeah. And their logo's really cool too. They've kind of adopted their own little unique logo. I don't know if it's a baseball specific or if they use it school wide, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if can it beat a Cupid? Can it beat a Cupid?
I just am
the most unique mascot.
Yes, I'll give you that. I don't know if it's the best because it just weirds me out. I'm sorry.
Hey, my parents and grandparents graduated from there, so yeah, I've that Cupid name, and I'm a Bruin, so but the Cupid, it's definitely one that I get to kind of poke fun with my folks, and when you're a Cupid, I was a Bruin, so I don't know who won that battle, but anyway, yeah,
it's so odd. I mean, that to me is just odd, but this is even Maryville up there, Maryville High School. Yeah. They are the Spoof Hounds.
Yep. I don't know what a spoof hound is. I mean, it's some breed of dog, I'm assuming, but I don't know what a spoof hound is. I really don't. But
I don't either.
It's very unique. Yep.
Congratulations! I think that might be number 1.
Well, I'll tell you what. So I'm cheating. I got Misha pulled up on my computer here. I do have one for you. This is fun. I like this. All
right.
Do you know what Putnam County's nickname is or mascot?
Oh, yes, because we've looked, and I can't think of it off the top of my head.
The Midgets.
Yes, the Midgets.
That's a really unique name.
I know.
Like I don't know. Like if you're shorter in stature, I don't know if you take offense to that or what. But it's a very unique name. I mean, you're not going to find that very often, and it's cool. And I think that's what's neat. A lot of these like smaller schools, I think, because they're older, like they've been in existence for a lot longer. These names were originated way back when, and so I think that's what's cool. You see like some of the unique mascot names too. Some of the newer schools are just, they're your standard like Eagles or whatever the case may be. But some of these small schools have really cool mascots.
Let's go ahead and here's one for you too. Because I went to my list, and it's up in that area, Pleasant Hill High School, right?
Okay. Yep.
I was still surprised that they did it. It just cracked me up. But they have a 2-set mascot. It's Roosters and Chicks.
I didn't know about the Chicks part. I knew they were the Roosters, but I didn't know about the Chicks part. Yeah, and their mascot's really cool. It reminds me a little bit of like
Foghorn Leghorn.
What is it?
Foghorn
Leghorn.
That's what I think.
Well, it reminds me a little bit of South Carolina and Coastal Carolina kind of together. Like it just has that unique bird look. So yeah, that's a good one. Yep.
I was just like, wow, there's some cool names out there when you get it. Yep. But I think up there, the Spoof Hound Savages, Roosters and Chicks up there. I mean, that just kills me, man. I love that part.
Yeah.
But I think this is what makes, high school baseball fun. This is what you do. These are the types of things. And you get down into these smaller schools and you've got up there, even Lafayette High School, the Fighting Irish, good solid team. This Midland Empire, along with Tri-County, these are two of the better conferences you talk about from the Northwest down through the Central, in my opinion, in Class 4.
Well, and I can speak. I'm going to obviously give our conference a little shout out to Tri-County here in the central part of the state, but I did do some research. So, and I'm only going to go off this first part since I've been here because I can't. That's all I know. But since 2018, our conference has had 3 state champions and 4 Final Four appearances in a 6 seasons, not 6 year because COVID was out of that, but 6 seasons. So we've had somebody in the Final Four 4 out of those 6. And then another interesting stat in the history of our conference, not that all these teams were in the conference the entirety, but the teams that are in it are Fulton going to be in it. There has been 23 Final Fours and 9 state champions from the 8 teams that are in our conference. And I don't know how many conferences can say that. And
that's dominance.
I mean, it just shows you, and I'm very proud of just the central part of the state. Because sometimes, we may not get all the recognition. We don't have the big, media outlets and things like that. But, man, there's so many good coaches and just players. And I don't know what it is. I think families and the schools have done a really good job of adopting baseball for a long, long time as one of those sports that they want to really excel at. And for our conference to have that kind of dominance. And again, Hallsville, out of those 23, Hallsville has 8.
Right.
I mean, Barry Kinnicky created a absolute monster of a program, and they've been very young the last couple of years, and they're doing the right. Coach Carmack is doing the right things. He's a former player, Coach Kinnicky, and he's on the right track. He's got good young talent coming up. So, but Boonville, 4 Final Fours, Blair Oaks 5, Fulton 5. We have the 1. Hallsville has the 8. I mean, so right there, it just shows you and I didn't get into like quarterfinals and sectionals and things like that, but I know California's been to several, and Eldon has, and so it's just a very proud conference.
And Jerome Simpson, I got to meet him last year over at Boonville. Really enjoyed talking to him. He's doing, and he keeps that program. There's a lot of, and, for lack of, that's just what it is. There's a lot of tradition in these schools. And I think, from coach to coach, and what you said there, he was a player. I see a lot of that. That's what just happened at your alma mater there with Rockbridge. Coach Tao retiring. The young man taking over, played for Coach Tao, won a championship. So I think that I personally, I love that part because, if you've got the right people and you do that, it means something to these kids, right?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know. I think Coach Bazat, Jeff, has been there. I think he just finished up his 20th year maybe as an assistant. And I think he was an assistant with Coach Tao under Coach Whitney. And then when Coach Tao took the head job, Jeff stayed on. And, Jeff played there. And, and then, he went off, played college baseball, came back, started the teaching and the coaching gig. And I give him credit for his loyalty because he's been a head coach ready person for years, but he stuck it out and he didn't need to be the head coach at that time. He was good with Coach Tao when he was ready to hang it up. He knew his opportunity would come. And, that's a program like that I can speak on because I know those guys very well. Like they're not going to miss a beat. Coach Height, their pitching coach, is he is one of the best pitching guys I've ever been around, and they're going to be just fine. With all the changes, like you're talking, like there's so many changes going on, especially here in Central Missouri, that for a guy like Coach Bazat to have that stability within that program, you're not really losing much as far as the identity of the program. So,
shout out here on a couple of too, Coach Tao just recently was on Baseball 101 with Darren Sissel. Go check that out. If you're a coach, go check that out because Coach Tao talks about his what he did, who he was as a person and whatnot. And I think the relatability to those things, Coach, is so important if you're going to take on a head coaching position, especially in high school.
Yeah, and Coach Tao's a Hall of Famer for a reason. I played at Rockbridge. I can remember not even having our own field. We didn't have batting cages. We didn't have all the things that they have now. But but we had some parents that were driven. They got a facility, and then a guy like Coach Tao that has come in and put his stamp on things and how he felt like it needed to be run, and his dedication not only to his high school kids but to his feeder programs. It says a lot, and the success that they've had is not by mistake. He has created that culture, and Jeff is going to continue that culture, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't have to play them in a district championship or a conference, so like I can kind of root for them since I'm an alumni. So I always want to see them do well, and Jeff he's going to be just fine, and he's going to put his own little stamp and twist on it, and they're just going to kind of keep moving along like they have been.
Folks, we're going to continue these conversations with Coach Ash every month through here. I appreciate him taking the time to do this because it's given us a good look, and we went through Midland Empire there, Tri-County, one of the toughest conferences in the state, folks, bar none. Blair Oaks, Southern Boone, Fulton. I think Booneville. You put a lot of these schools in these big tournaments. I know Blair Oaks doesn't shy away from anybody.
Nope.
Have field, will play.
Yeah, that has definitely been their mantra, especially with Coach D'Amelia. Now they got a new coach. I don't know. Yeah. I think everything's staying the same this year, but yeah, they play anybody. But they also have 50 plus kids on their roster, so it's
a unique situation for a Class 4 school. When you see them and you see all these kids walking out, and you're like, I thought this was a Class 4 school, not Class 6. And they look like a Class 6 roster. They really do.
Not only in numbers, but physical too. Like they're physical, strong kids, and they're definitely one of those programs that you try to model some things off of. And if you're not, you're foolish. So that many kids, it'd be hard to manage that roster, but they've done it, and they've obviously had a lot of success.
Yeah, you had one of those at Blair Oaks yourself there, Coach. So
we had some good teams. It was no doubt about it. So, yep.
But so make sure, folks, you stay tuned in. You're subscribed. You're following us. Hit that notification bell. Hit the dinger. Hit the dinger. It's not a home run, but it is notifications for more episodes like this. So we got one more here for you. We're gonna finish out. So Coach was close on what school, and it doesn't matter the class, all classes, holds the record for most Final Four appearances. He was New Bloomfield and Francis Howell are tied for second with 14 apiece. Valley Catholic is up there in the top. That was another great guess. I love that one. But
it's got to be a small school because it just has to
it
be.
Is. I mean, it's a Class 1 school.
What's their school colors?
Purple and gold.
Oh, no, not okay. First thing that came to my head was Stoutland, but no, it's Mitch Wood was their coach. Long time. Oran.
It is Oran.
Yes.
Oran has 17 Final Four appearances.
Wow.
In their history. That's impressive.
That's unreal. That's like Scott County Central basketball back in the day where they won, 15 state titles. And it's just, that's baseball, especially. It's so hard to do it in baseball. Like I will argue with any coach at any sport. Like I feel like baseball is one of the more difficult sports because you never have your best team on the field at all times. You're not throwing the same pitcher over and over. It's not softball. And that's why I try to portray to people. I'm like, it is difficult to win in baseball.
Yes, it is. Yeah, your point guard's going out there unless he's hurt, right?
Right. Yeah. I may have a fully healthy roster, but it's not the same team game to game.
Yeah, and my guy just pitched the other day. Is he maybe DHing or I'm sitting him? Is he got
Right.
And baseball is just. I think that's why I enjoy baseball so much, and honestly, I enjoyed coaching it. As far as that was concerned, because I thought the challenges were very unique to a coach, and how you had to create opportunities for your team to put them in the best position to succeed. And even at that, your chances of your rate of success was they're not good. They're not good.
No.
So hey coach, I got to ask you who you got going to the World Series?
Man, that's a tough one. My heart, who I want, is the Mariners and the Brewers. I'm a diehard Cardinal fan, but they're not in the mix. So the Brewers, I want to win it. We had a young man that I had an opportunity to coach in the Junior Sun Belt down in Oklahoma, and I'm really good friends with this high school coach, but Mizorowski.
Oh, yeah.
The big, tall pitcher for them, played for us for 2 years, and to see his development and the success he's having. I mean, he hardly plays any or pitches any innings, and he becomes an all-star, and deservingly so. But I'm pulling for the Brewers. I want them to win it all. I think Seattle's got a really, really good team, and obviously Cal Raleigh's having a heck of a year. I'd like to see that team get there and see what shakes out.
I'm just hoping my boys close out the Phillies tonight. I'd love to see that, but we'll see. Yamamoto on the mound. I still, because honestly, I was more tending towards the Phillies and the Blue Jays. In this coming out of it, because I'm a Dodger fan. Grew up a Dodger fan. And
hey, that's one of my assistant coaches. That's Coach Bohannon back there getting his lunch. So
how you doing, Coach? And
hey, that game last night, Aaron Judge. I was watching it on TV. I mean, he hit that ball, and I'm like, okay, it's going to be foul. And the way it came off that foul pole, I'm like, that guy, Aaron Judge, is a unicorn. He is a different type of player for sure.
Absolutely. The Dodgers, I'm hoping finish that out. I would always love to see the Dodgers and Yankees. I hate the Yankees. That is a true statement.
Yeah.
I don't put pinstripes on, folks. Okay.
Right.
Leave the pinstripes out.
Right.
Anywho, that's but okay. So there you go. Seattle, Milwaukee. let's see what happens.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. Got
It
some
would.
good playoffs. So, Coach, as always, I appreciate your time, sir.
You bet, man. Appreciate you, Brian, everything you do for our sport, man. You do a really good job. And I've seen you out there in the 100-degree temperatures covering games. Saw you at the Legion State. You and I are very similar because I will go, if there's a game going up down there, it doesn't matter who's playing, I will go watch.
Yeah.
And here you are broadcasting that whole entire tournament and got to catch up with you just for a brief moment. It's always good to see you. And I appreciate, I know everybody across our state, our coaches appreciate everything you do to cover high school sports because it's rare that someone will dive into the high school level like you do, and you do a great job.
Thank you very much. And a shout out, head coach at Smith Cotton, Coach Zimmerman, Coach Boyer from Moberly came down. That was fantastic. Those guys did a great job. Never called a game in their lives, and they're like, I don't know if they jumped right in, did great analysis. I love that stuff, that those guys gave their time, and it was fantastic, man. That's the thing about it. Everybody like yourself and whatnot, everybody's willing to do that, and that's what makes it fun. Is I get to meet some great people like yourself and all these things, and everybody's willing to work with these kids. It's great. And so let's keep this going.
And Brandon has no excuse. He should be really good at calling games because his dad's involved in radio and everything else. So he's got a little bit of an advantage. So don't let Coach Boyer know you on that. He knows what he's doing.
He told me that. He did tell me. He says he told me that. So he had a little bit of an inkling. They did. It was great. So thanks a lot, folks. Appreciate you tuning in. Everybody, have a great day in the Lord. All you pitchers, throw some strikes. That helps Coach keep his sanity, all that sort of thing. And hitters. Coach, give the hitters some advice.
Swing at strikes and swing hard. That's all I got.
That's the old KISS system, folks. We'll see y'all next time.